Are you okay there? Hey, Chuck. Chuck. Call 911. We have a guy injured up in the tree.
Magnolia here?
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Thank you. I have no other
And then
way of,
I'll,
like,
no, that's fine. I'll Uber back, and then do I have to go pick it up at the end of the day when they're done with it? All right.
probably, unless I could get someone else to like swing over there and like drive it back.
All right, yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
Put it in the back of the line.
Yeah, thank you.
My chainsaw. Thank you. Did it go over well?
Yeah, we had a lot of people stop because of the chainsaw. So that was great. It was really helpful.
Cool.
Thank you.
No problem. I'm James. I've been here for about 2.5 years now. I'm the mechanic at Seattle Tree Care, and I do everything from working on trucks and chippers to working on chainsaws. Like this little guy. We have 10 chip trucks, 4 bucket trucks, 2 grapples, a hook lift, 2 smaller trucks, 3 like big trucks, the pickup trucks, 9 chippers.
Refilling. Is there a safety topic? Hi, I'm Max. I've been in production tree care for just over 2 years and then did a horticulture program at South Seattle College. Every Monday morning we do a safety topic. We sort of review some of the elements of the ANSI standards and sort of tie that conversation in with maybe incidents or mishaps that happened, close calls that happened the week before. All non-involved workers shall be positioned at a distance from the tree of at least how many times the height of the tree trunk?
At least two times.
2 times the height of the tree. You know, we cover the same ground by a schedule so that we're always sort of staying refreshed as the seasons change and conditions change throughout the year to make sure that we're still applying those standards of safety. Take the extra time to make the escape paths and walk each of your escape paths to know that it is actually, you know, not having protruding rebar or something that you didn't quite recognize because you didn't take the time to stomp it out.
All of my interactions with Seattle Tree Care personnel were very professional and informative. I can wholeheartedly recommend them for all arborist procedure. And then I got a handwritten note. Crew Jeremy et al. Were prompt, polite, professional, and did an excellent job. So way to go, y'all.
Just another morning here at Seattle Tree Care.
Still day, the branch spontaneously let go with a little bit of crackling and then just a big whoosh, and it fell down across the stream through the little maples and hit the corner of the house, which we had just finished installing a brand new window on this side of the house, so it was very nice that it chose not to go through there. So we called Seattle Tree Care because they've worked for us before and done an excellent job, and I wanted that assessed for safety. And was delighted that they felt they could leave the tree safely for our house. And then I asked about cabling, just sort of for insurance, and thought it was a good idea. So now we have the cabled tree. I'm gonna sleep at night without worrying. And now that they're done, I'm delighted with how well they did it.
Okay, today we have recent failure on a Katsura. There's a cedar right behind it, so we're going to run a cable between the two, so if the rest of it fails, it won't hit the house. We're going to be using a dynamic cabling system to mitigate the structural weakness of the tree. We'll go back there and make it safer. That sound good to you?
Sounds great. So are you going to try and shoot a line up over that fatter one, or up over the Union, or that Y?
Yeah. You know, I really might go extension ladder. All right, so there's our tear out. And there's the tree that fell.
Yep. Is that staying, or are we taking it out?
No, we're leaving that. I think, yeah, she said it was against the house, and
she wanted
she actually put it here.
So, okay, cool. Natural feature.
So we're gonna be cabling to that cedar, to this tree.
Okay. We're gonna like go above the tear out, kind of like where those branches
Ideally,
start? Or?
yeah, it's about 2/3 of the way up, so.
Okay.
So it'd kind of be probably right around where this branch right here is.
The one that's coming out towards us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, I'm Adam, certified arborist and crew lead with Seattle Tree Care.
Looks like it'll be about 30 or so feet of cobra cable.
Okay.
So our big hazard today is obviously going to be the tree structure here. Looks like the tree is rooted pretty well, but it has a definite hazard going on about halfway up.
Yeah.
But I think since the force we're going to be putting on it is going to be pretty much vertical rather than lateral, then I think we should be fine.
It's gonna be a lot less weight than that limb that came off too.
Right, so the nearest trauma center is going to be UW Medical Center.
Okay.
Worksite hazards today is going to be tree decay and structure.
Okay.
We don't have any electrical hazards today, which is good.
Yeah.
We don't have any pedestrian or traffic issues. So the other thing we'll have to worry about, let's see here, cable installation.
We saw
and hazards, we have work in a loft, tree or tree part failure.
Struck bys maybe? Just like if there's a snag or something?
Struck bys. And then we have slip, trips, or falls. We do have a water hazard here. So should anyone fall in, I do know mouth to mouth, which is good. And it's gonna be a pain getting a line up there. Yeah, let's get the ladder. I think that's gonna save a lot of time.
Okay. I'm Justin. I've been with the company for approximately a year. I've been doing tree work for about 3 years now.
Oh, Bubba.
I think we're just getting a little bit of separation from the building, a little bit of... Hi, I'm Jason with Seattle Tree Care, and I am a project manager. Today they're mostly going to be doing a bunch of building and roof clearance for a homeowners association. A European white birch tree on the property is showing the very first signs of bronze birch borer beetle infestation, which is starting to become really common in the city of Seattle. Usually when a birch tree is infected with this beetle, it will start to experience a branch dieback, and that will start from the upper canopy and work its way down. You'll also be able to tell one of the symptoms of an infestation by little bullet holes on the bark. The little D-shaped black kind of just looks like little bullet holes, but those are actually the exit of the beetle at maturity. And so we have a soil applied treatment that we're going to hit that tree with to give it its best possible chance of survival.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Especially the birches now here in Seattle, they are being attacked by the bronze borer beetle, and they just start dying from the top. But if we catch it on time, we can treat them. We inject the roots and the trunk and usually if the tree is not like more than a third gone, we can still save it. So this is a Japanese maple. I cannot tell you what variety specifically because there's like 400 varieties, and this is one. They usually don't, I mean, they can grow this big, but it takes a long time. So it's definitely exceptional. Mostly just making sure that we get close to the collar, but without cutting onto the collar, so the tree has more chances to seal that wound. Let me show you. You can see here on this branch, so you see that line there? That's the collar of the branch. So if I'm going to prune this branch, I'm gonna put a cut right there, but without cutting on the collar, because that's where all the hormones and chemicals are that are gonna help seal that wound. So if we put a proper cut, it's gonna be easier for them to seal those wounds and keep going. And also, if you put the proper cut, that is gonna be close to the collar but without cutting on the collar, it's less likely for the tree to put out a bunch of water suckers or sprouts. So this is a pole pruner. This is an 8-footer pole and just a nipper head, we call it. This is a Marvin, this brand, which I really like. They cut really well. And a little bit of a small mouth, but we're not cutting anything big here today, so.
Here I got my harness. It's a Tree Motion Light, probably one of the lighter ones on the market. I'm not gonna bring a chainsaw up, so I'm not gonna need any of this. I'm just gonna go up there with a handsaw, but it's just for the clearance. All right.
Well, I think it looks pretty clean now.
Well, we're just doing roof clearance here, so we don't need to take off an extreme amount, and it doesn't really matter if it's 15 feet above this. It's kind of more just direct contact and things that are within striking distance. If there was wind or rain or anything to bring these branches down to actually touch the roof. So I see that there's one more I want to get out the way. I'm tied in over here. I just got to make my way up over here a little bit, and then we'll pop that one off, and I think this tree will be done. Two tie-ins always, and I believe the branch I would like to take is right here. Could pull it back a little bit, but I think I'm going to take the whole thing off because it's still going to grow that way regardless. There's not really a good lateral to take it back to. 3-cut method, undercut, top cut, branches free, finishing cut. And I think that will do it for the clearance on this tree. Climbing down, got to be just as careful. And these branches are super easily broken. This is just my regular double rope or multi-rope system. So there's kind of two major ways to climb. One, you use one single rope. You throw it over the whole tree basically, or over a branch. You basal anchor it, so you'll tie one end to the bottom of the tree and the other rope will come over and you'll cinch it to yourself. But this is a multi-rope or a double rope system, so you kind of just connect this one to a part of your bridge and you'll connect this to the same part of the bridge. And you can ascend by just pulling this and pulling this down, and you pull your slack out and you can just keep pulling yourself up little by little. And it's tied a certain way. It's a friction knot, so you can pull down on it all you want and it won't release unless you put a little tension on this, and then it'll slide on down. So it's pretty important to check your ropes, inspect your press sticks, inspect your carabiners every use. And if you haven't used your gear in like a few days, like if you're doing a lot of pruning 1 week and you haven't used your gear, I definitely recommend inspecting it at least once a week.
So what we've got going on now is we're just skinning up the sides of these Western Reds. They've been previously topped, so there's a lot of material at the top of them. Years of basically mistreatment has led to them sending out emergency response growth and vertical suckers that are a lot to manage. So we're going to be here for a while. You guys can go check out another crew.
I guess that's kind of a knot. But splice is, I guess, technically not a knot. I guess technically not a knot. Technically not a knot. Technically not a knot. Technically not a knot.
It like loops in through itself and then it tensions down on itself. So it's like basically like sewing an eye kind of deal without the extra sewing thread. You like weave the threads together.
The theory behind this cobra cable is to not so much hold the tree up, but to just keep it from falling, and so sort of restraining how far it can move while still being like a dynamic system. So it's not like a rigid thing, like sometimes people use poles or a rod to go through here, which is static. And so there's lots of schools of thought on that, but this dynamic system protects the tree. It's not invasive to the tree at all. It's going to allow the tree to grow and still move, which is important for it to develop a stronger trunk. So it's just going to sort of restrict how much it can move in this one direction. It's also adjustable, so we can come back in a year and snug it up a bit or replace it if need be. So I've cabled about a dozen or so trees now, and some of them require multiple cables, some of them just one cable, and each presents its own challenge, whether it's the structure of the tree, like this one, which is a little bit sketchy, but I'm okay with it. The other thing is we're cabling this tree to another tree. A lot of times we sort of cable one lead of a tree to another lead to keep them vertical together. But this is the first time I have cabled a tree to another tree, and as you can see, the distance is about 30 feet or so, but we're going to a nice big strong cedar there, and that cedar is not going anywhere. And so the idea is to get into about the upper third or so of this tree, just because of leverage. That's where you want it to be able to keep it from going into that house there. All right, so you sure on this height, Justin? I can go up higher if need be.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good.
So the cobra cable expands pretty easily, and it's actually pretty easy to splice.
Cobra guy.
Although sometimes I do wish I had a couple extra hands, which is why we always have 2 climbers when doing this. So I want to thread this through.
Yeah, if we didn't have a second climber, we'd just be sitting.
Well, a lot of times you can actually reach the other lead or swing over to it without too much effort, but
yeah,
this is a little bit different here, being a different tree. All right, so that should be plenty through there. Okay, so we have the cable spliced through itself, and so as this gets under tension, it just well, it gets tighter. So I've got it spliced through a little over a foot, and I'll put a loop in here to add some expansion for the tree to grow. And like I said, it's a dynamic cabling system, so it's not going to be holding the tree completely rigid in one direction.
Dutch, English. 2/3 installation position as dynamic breakage cabling at 2/3 the height of the part of the tree that's to be supported. I'm going to get copyright infringement for looking at the photos. Choose the appropriate expansion insert length at 2/3. Grasp the cable at the branch circumference distance plus 20 centimeters, 8 inches from the end of the cable and insert expansion.
40 centimeters?
Yeah. Into the cable, its distance from branch equals 1/2 its diameter. And guide it out again.
Okay, so I've got it around the branch. I've got an expansion loop on there. I'll put the shock absorber in as I go down, since that's really one of the hardest things to do. I'm just thinking, when you climb up, you know, you're gonna have to kind of weave this through some branches there.
Yeah.
Which I can go back up here if need be. All right, so now I'm putting the shock absorber in. And come back in a couple of years. Sometimes these things are stretched out so they're nearly pencil thin. There we go. It's much easier to do that beforehand than after putting the other thing on, so you can get some slack in the line. So that went in really easily. All right, now it's Justin's turn.
Either I get the ladder or I'm going to just go up the fence. It's going to be easier than trying to throw a fat line through there or trying to get a throw line up there or whatever.
You want the ladder?
Yeah.
Wonder how much clowning we'll get on a YouTube video for using a ladder.
Is that extension ladder?
It's like one of the highest risk parts of our job, believe it or not. The ladders, yeah. Yeah. It's like, why would I do that?
Yeah, that thing looks pretty solid.
Did you hold the base for me?
Yep.
Thanks.
You want it to go any higher? That's probably fine there. Huh?
Yeah, I can advance past that point.
That just saved a lot of hip thrusting, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly what I was thinking. I was like, why would I just sit there trying to throw a throw line or something like that through these trees? That sounds horrible.
All right, the cobra cable is on. So far, so good.
All right, nobody make ladder jokes.
I think this is the largest distance I've done a cobra cable. Usually they're 8 or 10 feet, and this is spanning the length of this trail here.
Let's see here. If you're wearing spurs, you're probably doing a removal. You are doing a removal. You don't wear spurs when you're doing like something like this because you want the tree to stay alive. Now, some trees do have thicker bark and all that, but the reason why you don't do it is because you can introduce like a pathogen or something like that into the tree, and it can mar it up. Just kind of makes it ugly and unhealthy. It's what sets an arborist and a cowboy apart. We're just ascending without spurs because all these trees are staying around for a while. That look okay to you?
Yeah, that looks good.
Okay.
Just lean out.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Whew. Little headache. Boink.
All right, so yeah, get that as level as you can.
Yeah.
Fire.
Boop. This is as level as it's gonna get, I think. That's right there. Nice. Oh yeah. There we're good. Now we're cooking with fire.
So we got the tree cabled. It's we've minimized risk to the house and to the client's property. We had a few small complications, but worked around them and got it done on budget. Well, I think that went pretty well. How about you?
Yeah, it went great.
I think we minimized risk and got that thing secure. So if you need any tree work done in the future, removals, pruning, cabling, call Seattle Tree Care.
Hey Chuck, are you okay there? Hey Chuck! Chuck! Call 911. We have a guy injured up in the tree. We're here to do a aerial rescue training. We're gonna be rescuing a chunk of wood out of a tree so we can get our certifications for line clearance.
I don't know if I have a strap big enough for that though. I think that looks good now. Yeah. This looks totally legit.
Yeah, we gotta do it.
I think they are the ones who told us to use a chunk of wood, so. Oh. You have to take a test about general knowledge about climbing. You have to take a test to identify different components on a line system, like a transformer. You have to perform an aerial rescue. So the golden rule when you're gonna perform an aerial rescue is not to become a second victim. So the first thing you have to do is call 911 because they are the expert. Hey Chuck! Chuck! Chuck is not responding. Russell, call 911. Tell them we are 12 Magnolia Boulevard West and that we have a guy injured up in the tree. Then if you think you can rescue the person and you feel like you're qualified and certified, you have to check for hazards, make sure you respect that golden rule, don't become a second victim. I'm checking for hazards. I don't see any power lines close by. I don't see branches overhanging or any like wild animals or anything that could affect the rescue. So I'm gonna head up and bring him down. And then just go up there and check on the person, make sure, and then make a decision. See if you want to bring him down if they are not breathing, so you can perform CPR. So we also have to be CPR certified. I'm checking if he's breathing. He's not responding. Looks like he's unconscious. I think I gotta help him down. Once you get up there, you have to make a decision if it's gonna be better to stay up with them and help them until 911 gets there, or if it's better to just lower them down to the ground and help them on the ground.